Phyllis Klein. She has a new book called Full Moon Herald we're going to get to talk about today. It's a poetic newspaper. It's published by Grayson's Books. She sees writing as an artistic dialogue between author and readers, an intimate relationship building process.
Thank you. So glad to be here. Paul Barton he's a concert pianist, and he lives in Thailand now. He's married to a Thai woman, and one of the things he decided to do, I don't really know how he came to the idea, but he felt that there are some elephant sanctuaries in Thailand for abused elephants. And so he felt that he wanted to apologize to the animals.
Yeah.
And so he figured out a way to put his piano on wheels. I don't know how he gets it there. Maybe they keep it there now, but and they wheel it around onto the grass and dirt. And the elephants roam free. And he sits down at the piano and plays, and they come to the piano. And then they actually, if you watch the video, they actually start swaying to the music. So it's just quite breathtaking and very touching and poignant. So I was drawn to write a poem about it that I call Paul Barton Plays Piano for Elephants. The piano, fountainhead to a congregation of sick, abused, retired elephants. A man's hands skim the keys. Animals stop, listen, flap ears, reach trunks around to sniff aura of the instrument, aspect of the man. Elephants straggling about, free now, shielded. The piano sitting on the dirt in a park, surrounded. Picture it, man playing Bach to a creature large enough to kill him, stomp up his keyboard. The elephant stands transfixed. The man gives bananas at first to make a good impression. It helps them memorize his smell, connect him to the sounds. He walks with a group sometimes, the blind ones. Even if they knew where the piano once got its keys, what would they do? Crush it? This cruel, splendid coincidence, this moonlight sonata under the stars, these behemoths swaying.
Dream time. Come on.
Brutus, get in the picture.
Come here. Yeah, he's coming here. Come here, buddy. Come here. Okay. There he is. Here's whoa. You stepped on it again. Hey, Brutus, say hello to the people. Say hello to the people, Brutus.
Walk like a people. Number 2, Under Control.
Oh, Under Control. Under Control was a song that's sort of been kicking around in the back of my mind and my soul for a very long time. Chris and I, you and I have both lost near and dear people to addiction. And that's always kind of haunted me. And the song was birthed out of watching someone many years ago succumb to chemical addiction of one kind or another. In this particular case, it was, one of the worst drugs out there. And I've lost other people to that as well over the years. And so that was the basic inspiration to Under Control. As I say in the chorus of the song, under control, you say you've got it, because that's the language of addicts. I've got it under control. No, it's not going to go too far. And then very tragically, a lot of times it does go too far, which is where I came up with the line that looks like the dog is walking the master here, because it's part of the delusion of chemical dependence. If you loved people who walked through it, and someone like me who's dabbled in these things and then looked at people dying or destroying their lives, and you kind of go, oh, I don't think I'm going to do that. I saw that very early on as a teenager. I was watching older musicians who were amazing players and had just unbelievable talent just nosedive and either die or end up incarcerated or physically damaged from their chemical dependence. So that was the inspiration for that song. Musically, Hans, my son Hans, got it. He said, wow, it's very Nick Drake, your guitar picking there. I went, oh, yeah, you're absolutely right. And Jethro Tull. I mean,
Yeah, that's right.
You were right. And then I was listening to both around the time I came up with those picking patterns and sort of things. And it's very different from a lot of the other things on the album, because it's all based around this fairly intricate acoustic guitar picking thing. Yeah. And then I sort of built it from there.
It's like almost kind of a lace feel to it.
Yeah, I didn't want it to get too musically heavy, but that's one of the songs I'm proud to say that I play all the instruments on. Boom, I'm playing a mallet on a kick drum, and when you hear that deep low end and the bass and everything I'm doing on there, and the picking, and people have asked me, who are the girls on there? Well, that would be me. I know how to set those ranges and do that. Sing in a very feminine sort of way to do the backing vocals, and it all just kind of came together musically pretty quickly. And at the very end, Philip and I were messing with, as an overdub, we were messing with various instruments. I've got these crazy instruments from around the world. This is a banjo sort of thing from Africa, and Philip collects these things too. And he had a violin bow from another little African instrument, and we had the dulcimers and all these crazy instruments. And I was just messing around with a violin bow. That's the sound you hear. This sort of spooky sound that kind of introduces the verses and things. It's me with a violin bow and one of these freaky African instruments. Zing. And I went, oh, let's see how this sounds in there. So that song musically has a very eerie, which I think musically matches the lyrical content of that tragedy of life. It's very eerie violin bow thing.
Yeah, just nice textures. There's all these little sonic details that it's very nuanced. That song has many little shades.
Yeah, and then I went in one day and Philip said, can I take a pass at it with pedal steel to see what happens? I went, yeah, sure. And of course, he makes a pedal steel sound like every other instrument on earth but a pedal steel sometimes. And he just started making these beautiful floaty notes in there. And that's a song I could have done with full band. And I just said, nah, you know what? I want to keep it as eerie as my intent.
Yeah.
And I just, it's very basic.
Well, it's very under control.
Yes. And it's eerie. There are elements of Celtic acoustic music in there and African, and I'm playing these big African drums in there. And yeah, it just became this unique sort of thing. And it's a very heavy way to start the album with Lost on the Inside, and then into Under Control, which is a very heavy, very eerie, dark song full of a lot of eerie ghosts. So of course I went from there to here you don't go out much, you keep the lights down low. So this carnival of misery that you live in doesn't show. And oh, why would I lie? Why would I lie? Under control, you say you've got it. Under control before it goes too far. Well, looks like the dog already walks the master. Under control, hey, that's just what you are. So of course I went from there to Poor Life Choices.
Exactly. Number 3, Poor Life Choices, right.
Yes. I couldn't stay that dark for
not for too long.
No,
but it's nice that it's cool that it gets rocked up. You know, as I said, we've heard all the Friday versions on acoustic, and then it's like, well, it takes a little step up, gets a little faster. Yeah,
and in my head, I wanted it to sound like the Who. I mean, as I was writing it, I was thinking of it that way, but there were no bands, there were no gigs. It was the pandemic time. I mean, we were all lost on the inside. We're all locked away. Yeah. So I felt the song was strong. Friends of mine, Jim Dalton and Roger Klein, like, wow, they'd heard it once or twice, be messing with it. And they go, that's a real strong song. Okay. So I started bringing it into the Friday night shows.
Yeah, right.
Acoustically, make it more kind of pop. But in my head, it always kind of sounded like the Who.
Yeah.
All the big drums, which I ended up like playing on like crazy, you know. I wanted Keith Moon to be the drummer for Poor Life Choices.
Yeah.
Which, I'm going to have to put out an acoustic version of that song because I think it's going to scare a few people who have heard nothing but the acoustic version. It's going to be a little sonically startling to people, which is okay. It's okay to scare them. It's probably a good thing. I like that it got rocked up because it got very rocked up. Yeah. And Keith Moon did make some poor life choices. So yeah, good point. Yeah. Last night I think I made some poor life choices. If I had another chance, would I make better plans and do the same thing anyway? Yeah. Would I make poor life choices? I'm gonna live and die with poor life choices. I'll just take my empty cup and rip that out. Should I do some? Okay, you remember this, Chris?
Yeah.
Old owl. Why is old owl? Why is old owl? And then let's see. Rattlesnake. So obviously, if I'm going to dare to try my hand at this song with so many layers and such a universal level of pain, then I've got to do it justice. And I just picked up a guitar one day and started singing it in that particular way. And I felt like I was kind of getting near the truth of it, the heart and the seed of the song. Yeah. I can't think of anything more universal than time hurts before it heals. It hurts before you can feel. Listening to it, it's one of my favorite moments on the entire record. And at the very end, actually, I know you've noticed that the very last time I do the chorus, the very, very tail end, I changed chords up. Right. A little bit. Yeah. Went from major to minor. Yeah. Because I just wanted to give it that last little power. Yeah. As it moved away. It's a little lift. It adds a little lift. I heard that chord change, man. I'm sure you got it immediately. And it just came naturally. Like, what if I just put a different minor chord into a slightly different melody to finalize the song. It's like the amen. It's like an amen at the end of a prayer.
Yeah.
Time hurts, you know, and I changed the melody. And of course, Philip and his dad went right with me on the pedal steel and the upright bass, because they're both just such brilliant players. And they supported that kind of came out of nowhere chord variation on your beautiful song.
Yeah. No,
And,
much appreciated. I mean, how cool to have the song that we've shared. I mean, I knew about, or you've been telling me for many, many years that you wanted to record this song, to finally hear it today.
yeah.
It was just great. It was a wonderful experience. I appreciate it deeply.
Yeah, if I'd shown it to you a month ago and you went, I don't know, no, it's okay, Johnny. It's not bad. Then I would have just chucked it in the dustbin. So I'm glad I waited, because I thought I had arrived at a good place with it. And
Yes.
My father died when I was a young man. I wandered for most of the year. And once in a while, I still think of him when I see my eyes in the mirror. Time hurts, it hurts before you can feel. Time hurts, it hurts before it heals.
as like Roddy said, you're not going to hear any applause, because he was doing it like a week or so before I was. It's weird. You're playing out to outer space, but they're there, they're listening.
Yeah.
And so I had to get used to that, but I had to go from the performing aspect of it. And I'm glad they intersected, because I would do the Friday shows and I'm looking, wow, there are 3,000 people watching this right now.
Right. Yeah.
Get that out of my head. And then get up the next morning and drive up the hill and make a new song with Philip and I in the studio.
Yeah.
And they were sort of one mindset or the other, and I would kind of go back and forth, and it felt good. And then they started coming together. And as I'm recording songs up there and writing songs and arranging songs, I'm thinking about how they're going to come across to listeners. And it became this beautiful marriage of intent. And I think I got that on the record, man. I listen to it now, and I'm glad that I left songs like Time Hurts and Misanthrope Blues and some of the other ones that are very, very spare instrumentally.
Yeah.
Some cats, they just don't like cat tricks. I like them. I like them. We think it's really fun and funny.
It was pretty much our pastime.
Yeah, we weren't really like party guys. We would play music at a party, but we basically just like to have fun at our animals' expense.
Yeah, walk like a people. Oh
God, you got to have a certain kind of cat to be able to do.
That's true. I don't know that Brutus is that kind of cat.
Cat imitation. Oh, and Chris's favorite. Here comes the bunny, hopping on down that bunny trail. Oh, he stepped on the computer. Oh, oh, he's so mad now.
We make poor life choices. We're all gonna live and die with poor life choices. So let's just take those empty cups.
Hi, this is Morris. Welcome back to my time machine. I'm fascinated by the nature of the IE scene, which nurtured so many musicians that have gone on to make music I enjoy. Conditionz are a glimpse of the sound of the very teen angst which surely inspired young David Lowery to eventually pen his anthemic cracker song by that name. The subject matter of She's So Suburban is typical guitar, garage, rock, fare, guy trying to get with a girl, but dad doesn't like him. Chris tells me that the Conditionz and the Dangers started just about the same time. They were always around, couldn't shake them. My time machine was rolling in Redlands when the Conditionz played a set at Stock 12. So here's some audio to take you on a trip back to September 2, 2018 with She's So Suburban.
Thanks. I think we got one more left in us. This is called She's So Suburban. Yeah. Thanks for coming down. Hang around. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, she's so suburban. She's so suburban. Her dad is gone, so I know she's not home tonight. But I rode the bus from downtown to see. Oh, when I call her up at home, her dad hangs up the phone. He doesn't want her to be with guys like me. That she's so suburban. She's so suburban. She's at the town, at the social register. They smile as they donate to charity. But when her father's at the club, having a liquid pick-me-up, her mother has a gardener infantry. Well, she's so suburban. She's so suburban. She's happy there now in her leisure world. The tennis club, it always comes before me. But always in the end, her checkbook's her best friend. And I keep trying to make her see that she's so suburban. 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 What are the Conditionz? Thank you.
Trying to survive.